This America Tonight. Resistance to Saddam Hussein continues inside Iraq. Is Iran helping or just watching? We'll talk live with Iran's ambassador to the UN. After World War II, war crimes trials at Nuremberg. Now, after unspeakable horrors in Kuwait, can Hussein be brought to justice? And for some of America's POWs, well-deserved recognition. From CBS News, this is America Tonight, with Bob McEwen in New York and Rita Braver in Washington.
Good evening. 2 weeks after the war in the Middle East seemed to be over, violence rages anew. It looks like Iraq is on the verge of civil war. There is fighting in the streets. Open hostility to Saddam Hussein. Rebel forces battle troops loyal to the dictator. Confusion reigns.
There's no question but what there is significant opposition to Saddam Hussein's rule, but it appears to be somewhat disorganized.
Also disorganized, a meeting in Beirut of 23 groups opposed to Saddam. They announced plans to form a transitional coalition government, but gave no details of when or how it would begin. Meanwhile, thousands of Iraqi refugees continue their trek from Basra across the Iranian border, bringing reports of brutality by Saddam's soldiers. Civilians taken hostage, civilians murdered. In Ottawa today, President Bush condemned Saddam's use of force against his own people and signaled approval of toppling the Iraqi strongman.
It's almost impossible, let's put it this way, is impossible to have normalized relations with Iraq while Saddam Hussein is in there. It is hard to see how Iraq, with him at the helm, can rejoin the family of peace-loving nations.
Still, Saddam's government is vowing to stay in control, flaunting an official visit by a United Nations delegation to inspect Allied bombing damage to Baghdad, and warning that Iraq is not easy prey for the masters of evil and ambition. But in the streets, there is a sense that a turning point is near. Still, the U.S.-led alliance that fought Saddam Hussein in Kuwait and brought about the turmoil now going on within Iraq does not seem to have a plan for dealing with the latest crisis, Bob.
Watching all of this with more than casual interest is Iraq's next-door neighbor, Iran. Joining us now to talk about what's going on inside Iraq is Iran's representative to the United Nations, Kamal Karazi. Mr. Ambassador, good evening.
Thank you.
Today in Ottawa, President Bush said that if Iran were to take advantage of this unrest in Iraq by grabbing Iraqi territory, it would be, and this is a quote, the worst thing that it could do. In other words, the worst thing Iran could do. How do you respond to that?
Basically, this is not a position to intervene in internal affairs of Iraq. And it's not at all the question of taking part of Iraq. Basically, we think that this is the business of Iraqis themselves to decide about the future of the country.
Let me put it this way. Can you categorically state that Iran has no plans and will not take advantage of the current chaos there to move into any Iraqi territory?
Certainly.
The question we posed at the beginning of the broadcast was, is Iran watching or is Iran helping? Can I put that to you directly? Are you specifically providing assistance to the rebellion in southern Iraq?
We are observing the situation carefully, and but we are not interfering the internal affairs of Iraq. It is true that we are very much concerned about these developments. Of course, as a matter of fact, we were surprised by these developments. Nobody could predict that so soon such an developments could be seen inside Iraq. But however, the uprising is now in Iraq very serious, and we are very concerned about the future of people. We are very concerned about the sort of attacks by Iraqi forces against people, and we believe not only Iran, but all the countries have to be concerned about what's going on inside Iraq.
Now you talk
Although
about...
they do not interfere, and they don't have anything to do with that matter physically.
Now, the spiritual leader of Iran has today been quoted by Tehran radio as condemning Saddam Hussein for the force with which he's responding to this rebellion. Does your interest in this go beyond concern? There are reports of Iraqi expatriates crossing the border into Iran, armed to join the rebellion with the knowledge and consent of the Iranian government. Is that taking place?
You know, there are some Iraqis who have been living in Iran. This is true. And they are very free to decide what we're to do. If they want to go back to their homeland, they're free to go. But this does not mean that we are interfering or supporting militarily or intend to occupy some part of Iraq. We may support them morally because this is a popular uprising, and this is their business to decide about the future of their government.
Let me ask you another question of great concern to Americans. There are now believed to be 6 American and at least 5 other hostages still in the hands in Lebanon of groups believed to have ties to Iran. What can you tell us about the fate of those hostages?
We have been trying all through the last years to do something about these hostages. Of course, Iran is the first victim of this issue. As you know, 4 Iranians are still kept as hostage in Beirut. And we have asked the Western countries who have some influence on Falangist groups to push them and to put some pressure on them to release these hostages.
Is it fair to say you are actively pressing for those people to be released?
Yes, we have been actively pressing, and sometimes we have been successful. But of course, the issue is very complicated. You know, the Lebanese group, they have their own demands, and somebody has to meet these demands. And we will try our best, and we have done our best to see this crisis solved.
We just have a few seconds left in this period. Looking ahead, when might we expect to see those people released?
Oh, God knows. I don't know that when this would resolve. But we have to try and continue our affairs until we see these people released.
Mr. Karazi, good of you to join us tonight. Rita, back to you.
When we come back, the case against Saddam Hussein. As evidence mounts, the Allies consider mounting the biggest war crimes trial since Nuremberg.
Hold it right there, Buster.
A suggestion to all you grown-ups
We know what's best for you.
who think there's no time for a hot breakfast. Consider Kellogg's Pop-Tarts.
Just wait until you have children.
Hot and fast from the toaster.
You like fruit, don't you?
All that fruit filling. Mmm, tasty. Kellogg's Pop-Tarts.
How about a hug?
Real good, real fast.
Just a suggestion.
Do you know what open-end mutual funds are?
The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Money and Markets tells you in clear, simple English.
Do you know how to spot trends in stocks?
And what stock options are?
And zero coupon bonds?
And the difference between Treasury bills and Treasury notes?
Everything you want to know about the sometimes baffling world of money and investing is in this remarkable 120-page book. And now it's yours free when you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page Guide to Understanding Money and Markets. That's 13 weeks of the Journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, all for only $37, a 24% savings off the newsstand price. Call now, toll-free 800-228-1900. That's 800-228-1900 for today's Wall Street Journal.
This is the sound of Unisom, the sound of sleep. With Unisom, you hit your pillow and fall asleep fast. Tonight, you can sleep more soundly with Unisom, America's #1 sleep aid.
When minor arthritis pain holds you back, you need strong medicine. Bengay with not just one, but 2 pain relievers. Warming power for fast relief. Bengay helps get you going again. Bengay, fast, strong medicine for pain relief.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Paula Zahn. Tomorrow we'll meet some Alzheimer's patients who are getting love and support from some very young children.
It's a heartwarming story on CBS this morning.
In this age of mass marketing, a novel approach is working wonders at an uncommon bookstore. The story tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
The time is prime for the madness of March. Prime time Thursday and Friday. Check local listings for your team and your time. March Madness on CBS.
President Bush repeated today that Saddam Hussein would be held accountable for what happened to Kuwait in the war. Blame, said the president, has to be put squarely on his shoulders. One possibility for putting the blame on Saddam's shoulders is a war crimes trial. The Allies are already gathering evidence, and some of it is shocking.
They bring 2 irons and they pass it through his body.
A Kuwait